One of the things I really like about you, Steve, is that not only are you militarily an expert on the intelligence front, but on a systems front, when we get into geographic information systems, you're absolutely one of the top experts in the field. So that's what I want to talk about today was some nerdy GIS stuff. So geographic information systems, there's some debate out there whether it's geospatial information systems or geographic information science. At the end of the day, it's GIS. So I was hoping maybe we could just start at I want to start at maybe level 1, then we'll ramp it up to level 10.
Yeah, we can.
For maybe, how would you describe what GIS is for somebody that maybe doesn't understand what GIS is?
I think the simple answer for what GIS is, it's computerized data with a spatial component that you can overlay and extract meaning, relationships, trends, patterns from the data, right? But it has that geographic or that geospatial component to it that lets you see patterns and things that emerge that may not otherwise be evident. Well, GIS has its application in multiple things, delivery of packages, FedEx routes, UPS routes, United States Postal Service, school bus pickups, optimization of school bus routes, planning of schools where you have concentrations of children for elementary schools, middle schools, high schools. When do you figure out that you need another high school?
Right.
How do you decide when you need more teachers, et cetera? A lot of that all comes into play because there's a geographic component to it. And GIS helps with those decisions and making those decisions.
What are some ways that maybe the average everyday person might leverage a GIS and why isn't everyone doing this?
Well, I think people are.
Okay.
Right? Waze, Google Maps, Apple Maps, right? That the location component of here's where I'm at, here's where I need to get to, what's the best way to get me there, right? Behind the scenes in that you don't think about is there is a GIS powering that, right? Figuring out what's the best way to get you there. What's the fastest way to get you there? What's the way that gets you there without any toll roads, right? And so all these different ways that you can ask that question, you're asking that technically to a GIS saying, I want you to get me there in the cheapest route. And the cost could be anything from time, distance, dollar cost, right? So avoid toll roads. Whatever the case may be, people are asking GIS, or AGIS questions throughout the day. They just may not realize that they're asking a GIS these questions.
Right. They just see it as an app on their phone. Waze, Google Maps, all these.
But behind the scenes, we had to do all the data collection. We have to figure out what's the speed limit on each of these roads, right? So that it doesn't route you through residential neighborhoods and it keeps you on a thoroughfare or a highway to get you there faster. But it's all attributes of that road that you can figure out, and then the open source piece comes into play. Waze is really good with the open source piece where you get traffic reports, locations of police, roads that are closed, slowdowns in traffic where it may route you around when there's an accident, right? And so the open source and that crowdsource reporting piece comes into play as well. And again, that's got a geospatial component to it. There is a policeman here in the median, right? There is a car stranded on the side of the road. Be careful.
I'm sure the cops love Waze.